You ready? Is everybody's in? Everybody in? Okay. All right, we're going to start the meeting. Good evening, everyone. We're going to call the meeting. The annual budget hearing opening is, we're going to call the meeting to order, and please join us for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Moving to item on, we have two agendas tonight. So the first one is the annual budget hearing, and we're on number 2 is the legal notice of the annual budget hearing and school vote. It is for procedural information only. And moving to item number 3 is a motion to accept the draft minutes from May 7th, 2024. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the draft minutes approved from May 7th, 2024?
Motion.
Motion by George, second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation from the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education accepts and approves the draft minutes of the annual budget hearing dated May 7th, 2024. Moving to item number 4 is the current introduction of current board members and administrators. I'll read them off. For the Board of Education is Keith Stryker as president, myself, Tim Diamond is running a little late. He's vice president. We have Nicole Berkey, Tammy Chibodi, George Dean, Travis Hartman, Patrick Kelly, Kerry Ann Poley, and Rose Woods. For administration, we have Erin Long, Superintendent of Schools, Richard Biebenroth, Assistant Superintendent for Business and Finance, Frank Snyder, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Kevin Carbone, Principal Elementary School, Amanda Eberly, Principal Secondary School, James Fantini, Assistant Principal Secondary School, Nicole Pringle, Assistant Principal Elementary School, Aaron Butler, Director of Technology, Daniel Cornish, Director of Pupil Personnel Services, Kevin Credelli is Director of Health, Physical Education, and Athletics, and Dean of Students. Jennifer Williams is Director of Multi-Tiered System of Supports and Community Services. Okay, moving to item number 5 is the annual budget hearing, presentation, and questions. It's in 2 pieces, so it's the presentation, and then it's going to be questions or comment by the public. Our budget presentation will be done by Richard Biebenroth, the Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Human Services.
Good evening. We're just going to go over what some of our budget numbers are for this year and to open this up to public and questioning. So as presented, we have a 3-part budget where we do have a reduction in capital and an increase in admin and program being the largest part of the budget. At 77% of our budget is program, which is directly to our students' teaching. On the capital end, we do have some increases and some decreases. The biggest decreases that we see are debt service and transfer to capital. We're lowering that to lower the burden for the future. We have a number of cost savings on the administration side, Some of that are shifting of costs and decreases in some of the BOCES costs, and there's increases in other areas of BOCES costs. There are some increases BOCES due to the merger. The merger of two school districts lowers the number of component districts, which raises the cost to all the districts. And there's contractual increases as well. And there's also, we did some recoding to just properly capture people to put them in the right place. On the program component side, we do have increases, and some of the highlighted decreases is in programming for students with disability, students that are Medicaid eligible, and that's because of BOCES enrollments and student needs. That is always a projection. We can have new families move in, and that could raise that. All of these are always projections. One of our big increases, which looks like a lot of money, is direct transportation, and that's because we're looking at getting a new minivan, so that increases that line by 700%, but it's a one-time purchase, and it will save us money over time and allow us to get to more thing. And some of them are just a lot of recoding. We had, we really looked carefully at where people were assigned and putting them in the right place. You also have some contract increases, and of course, cost of goods and services, right now look like they're going to be increased. Our revenue, we're looking at a 2.14% increase year to year over budget, and at a tax levy increase of 1.99. Remember that is the tax levy. That is not the rate people pay due to equalization rates. Each town is paid differently. We have 6 towns across 2 counties. Okay. And we do prepare a contingency budget. If our budget is not voted, we have an opportunity to represent a budget to the public, or we have to do a contingency budget, which would cut it wouldn't cut any student program, but it would cut a lot of our purchasing. It would cut a number of, it would cut a lot of our budget. We would not be cutting from the programming, but we'd be having to cut from a bunch of other positions or other goods and services. Are there any questions?
I did have a question. So are you predicting a less amount of students with disabilities because in the prior year's budget, we didn't have to use as much money? Is that's
part of it. We also have high cost student aging out, which is, you can have a student like in a residential housing that's a very high cost, and the student is aging out. And we have another student that looks like they'll also be aging out. So, these are always predictions because, we could have somebody move in tomorrow, and, we have to take care of them.
Okay. And is our district providing some students, because of COVID, the ability to stay in school until 22?
I believe so. I don't have the exact answer. Yeah.
If I may, I see it's quite a lot of money for the school board. What does that go to? $64,000?
So some of those are BOCES expenses.
Because it says Board of Education. That's the reason I asked.
Yeah, well, they're BOCES expenses for the board. Okay, some of them are BOCES expenses. I can pull up the breakdown and get that for you if you want that.
But it's not specifically for us.
No, I mean, none of you, you're all volunteers. Yeah, These are all just the cost of running the board. But yeah, no one here is being paid.
No, thank you.
And
I didn't want anybody to think that.
Yeah, we've decreased it, but no, yeah, it's really the fixed costs that are assigned to the board, but they are minimal.
Thank you.
Yeah, but no one here is, yeah. All right, any additional questions?
Good. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to item number 5B, which is the annual budget hearing questions and public comment session. Do we have anyone who has anything they want to make a comment on the budget? Okay, we're going to keep that open, the hearing open for a bit, and we'll keep moving along. So item number 6 is recognition of retiring board members, and our retiring board member is not here yet. So we'll move along. Item number 7 is the introduction of board candidates, and there'll be an opportunity here tonight for them to present to the public. And you have about 10 minutes is the time limit, and you can step up to the podium. Travis is up first.
Good evening, everyone. Just to tell you a little bit about me, a little background about me. First, I'll say hello, Tri-Valley. Hello, community. Thank you for this opportunity. I've been on the Tri-Valley School Board for 3 years. I'm up for a rerun right now. My name is Travis Hartman. I'm from Sullivan County, born and raised in Sullivan County. Don't make too much fun. I did attend Fallsburg School, but while that was going on, my siblings, of course, they had both boots on the ground here at Tri-Valley. So I did graduate from Fallsburg. My family still lived out here, and that's where I kind of, after being in the law enforcement profession for many, many years, we landed in the Tri-Valley School District, which has been a great opportunity. I am here. I'm going to keep this very short. I do want to seek election again in the Tri-Valley Board of Education run this year for 2025. I thank you for all of the support. I would love your continued support with me and try to make this happen. And I want to be that guy here to yell out, "Go Bears," for all of the youth that are here. Thank you. One more thing. I'm sorry. Don't clap yet. I did forget. I have to say and finish up with this, a special shout out to, I think it's Teachers Appreciation Week. So I have to give a shout out to all of the staff and teachers from Tri-Valley. Thank you. My wife has been in education for 25 years. And if I did not say that standing up here today, I would be in a lot of trouble when I get home. So thank you for that opportunity. And we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thank you. George?
I'm going to take a little longer than Travis, so forgive me. If I may, it's a public hearing, so I'm going to turn to the public. Good evening. My name is George Dean, and it would be my honor and privilege to serve you as a Tri-Valley board member. I'm a lifelong resident of Neversink and a graduate of Tri-Valley, as are my wife and 4 children. As a local business owner and operator, and in my early years in law enforcement, I have seen how precious life is. I believe that we have a responsibility to invest in the well-being of our children in our community. My 11 grandchildren in this district give me the passion to fight for their future and the future of all the Tri-Valley students. Tri-Valley has historically been a top school in this area. Parents moved here for the great education offered by our school. Over the past 3 years, we have made progress towards restoring academic excellence in a safe environment. But there is more work to be done. There is more we can do to build confidence in our school again. I know the dedication it takes to make progress. I have 18 years experience as a Tri-Valley School Board member. I served in the past 3 years from 2023 to 2025 and from 1990 to 2005. During that period of tremendous growth and community support from our school district with the construction of our prized auditorium, library, track, our maintenance and administration buildings, and numerous classroom additions. I'm a former Sutherland County School Board representative. And in 2005, I was honored with the Excellence in School Board Service Award from the Mid-Hudson School Study Council. My promise to you as a board member is to be present and engaged. Our community is best served by a school board that possesses a broad range of experience and skill sets. But most importantly, by board members who are willing to dedicate the time necessary to achieve excellence once again. In 18 years of my service at this school, I have missed only 4 board meetings. I've been fortunate. As a board member, I want to continue the progress we have made restoring a culture of open dialogue. We need to invest more time discussing and navigating difficult issues when they arise. We need collaboration with our teachers, our community, and our school leaders so that all kids have the best opportunity to succeed. I want you, as parents and taxpayers, to be heard and acknowledged. We may not always agree, but it's important to have discussions to come to a solution. Parents deserve the right to know what education their child is receiving and have access to course curriculum and content. Policies and curriculum implemented in our district should be a local decision, representing a consensus by the people of the Tri-Valley School District. Students deserve safe and accessible bathrooms and an environment free of substance and vaping. They deserve freedom to hold their unique viewpoints and values and to feel safe from retaliation and bullying. Strong discipline is needed to eliminate harmful behavior in our schools. We must continue to invest in our extracurricular activities, athletics, and arts programs. These programs bring hope for our students. Physical activity and socialization are crucial for strong mental health. We need to ensure that students receive a proper recess during the day, up and away from their desks. We must continue hiring qualified candidates, including our very own Tri-Valley graduates who possess the required credentials. Let's give people a reason to want to stay in this district and raise families here. I will leave you with this. As a community, we must stay engaged for the well-being of our students, our future. My name is George Dean, and I'm grateful for your support. And thank you for the time this evening. One more thought I have. Parents, put down those electronic devices. Take and hold and hug your child, no matter how old or young they are. Hold them as long as you can and tell them you love them, because you never know. God bless.
Thank you, George. Our next candidate will be Mr. Bob Curry.
I feel like I'm older than dirt. I I used to play in the sandbox with George. Our farms were right close together, and I think we both have old time common sense. And that's one of the reasons that I want to be here. When issues come up in front of the board, I think you need just some common sense to deal with what's going on today in this world. So I started out here. I was a Tri-Valley graduate. Didn't do extremely well here. I was kind of a wise guy. Went to Delhi and I graduated with an associate's degree. I did quite well there. And I made a good living because of my education. So I know what education is all about and the need for it. When things were tough in the 70s, when the price of gas went up, there was no work. I worked through the Carpenters Union, but there was no work. So I started out with sawmills and logging and truck driving. I'm able to retrain, and I think that's important. You know, not only do you get an education here for reading, writing, arithmetic, and everything, but you need some common sense about when things go tough, you got to pick yourself up, turn around, and maybe go a different way. I had 25 years with a construction company. I worked in New Jersey, and I worked with the same people for that whole time. People that were there when I went there were still there when I left. And I think school and community, everything should be like a family. Everybody got along well on the jobs. That's why I was there for 25 years. And I spent 16 years in Little League. You know, Jerry was one of my players, and I see another one back here. And, you know, and those were the best times of my life. And I hope it was the best times of their life. I was on the board here for 12 years in the 80s and 90s. And I wanted to make it more friendly to the public, and which I would like to see that now. You know, we go through meetings so quick here that when I sit out here, I don't even know what happened. So I think, you know, there should be maybe an opportunity. If you raise your hand, you could ask a question if something isn't clear to you. But I would like to see a more friendly atmosphere between board and community. With the issues that we have in the news today, with all the Title IX stuff and everything, if something comes to Tri-Valley, I would like to be on this board to have some creative thinking and creative ideas to keep things sane. I could get into detail on that, but I don't think it's necessary at this time. I know students learn differently. Everyone learns in their own way. My sister, she would read everything aloud so that she could comprehend. And I had to read a little bit and write down what I wrote to comprehend. You know, so our minds all work differently. And I would like to make sure that teachers have the opportunity to vary curriculum a little bit, so, you know, approach things differently. Like I know in kindergarten and first grade, they're counting dots. Mrs. Adams used to say, don't count on your fingers, you take points off. So, you know, what happened between then and now to change everything around? You know, you can ask a kid how much is 4 and 5, and you say 9. You know, she doesn't know it, but you can put 5 things on the table and 4 things on the table, and they can visualize it and see that it's 9. They know things, but they learn differently. So I would love to see a little freedom for teachers to be able to vary curriculum a little bit in the way things are taught. And I often wonder, are our students ready for college? When you watch on the news and they ask all these questions about, you know, from the river to the sea, and people don't know what it means, and I just don't know if our students are ready to go out into the world, because they have a lot of challenges. When you see all of these protests at colleges and things, you know, I don't even think they know what they're protesting about when you hear some of them being interviewed. So I think maybe we might have to adjust some of our curriculum to prepare kids to get out into the world and go with it. And in a country where you can be anything, just be nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Our next speaker is Mr. Jerry Stevens.
My name is Jerry C. Stevens. I'm a 1983 Tri-Valley graduate. I went to Sullivan County BOCES for Boat-Tech and Carpentry for 2 years. I spent 18 years in the Carpenters Union, including 4 years in the apprenticeship program. Some of the projects that I worked on: building prisons, sewage treatment plants, schools, dining halls, hotels, and office buildings. This gives me an understanding of different building projects which may arise in the district. Then in 2002, I went to college. 2004, I'm a 2004 graduate of Sullivan County Community College with an associate in arts and liberal arts and elementary education. I'm also a 2008 SUNY New Paltz graduate in Bachelor of Science in elementary education. I also graduated in 2012 with a master's in science and education in special education. I also was a Tri-Valley Little League coach, T-ball commissioner, did field maintenance, and helped All-Star games, host All-Star games. I spent 15 years with the Bear Cub basketball program, 12 years in which I was the coordinator. I helped find coaches, referees, solving problems when building conflicts came up, communicating with coaches, and communicating with parents. I also coached youth football, coached football, boys and girls basketball, baseball, and softball at the interscholastic level for 19 years at Tri-Valley. I also at Tri-Valley was a substitute teacher, teacher aide, teacher leave replacement, elementary education, special education, life skills class, social studies, physical education. Having worn so many different hats through the years, working in the school system gives me a unique perspective of what different roles require, and worked with many different personnel in regards to students and adults. I'm also a former board member of the CAS Booster Club. I'm a present member of the Board of Assessment Review in the town of Neversink. Please consider me for the Tri-Valley School Board on Tuesday, May 20th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, we're going to circle back, and Tim, you missed it. So we're going to come back to item 6 is the recognition of our retiring board member, Tim Diamond. And we'll go around and people can say a word. Rose? Yeah, no, it's just, thank you for your service.
Thank you very much, Tim, for taking on the role of vice president for us. We appreciate the work you do in helping our kids be successful.
Congratulations on your retirement. I know retirement's been a big thing for you lately, but your outside occupation brought a great perspective to the board. You being a community member, also a great perspective of parent. You brought a lot to the board, and I appreciate it. I have enjoyed serving with you, and I wish you the best in the future. Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you for stepping up. It's a big commitment, and I really appreciated having you here. Thank you.
So I went to high school with Tim, so a little bit older. I'm a little bit older, but it's kind of full circle when you're able to go to school here and you grow up here, and then you're able to serve your community on this level. We're friends. I'm going to miss you not being on the board. I only had a short stint with you, but I know how deeply ingrained you are in this community. So best wishes, and I'll miss you moving forward.
Tammy?
Thank you for taking on the role of vice president. I wish you the best.
Hey, Tim. We've always had this cross the table communication, just with eyes and no voice. Congratulations on your retirement. You do great things for Tri-Valley. We really do appreciate it. But please never give up coaching. Never give up teaching the kids and helping them through. Tri-Valley, I know, appreciates that. Being on the board, I appreciate that. So thank you very much for that. And This meeting's going to go very late tonight. You're not leaving.
He's here until July.
Congratulations on your retirement and thank you. This is a volunteer thing that we all do here. So we appreciate it.
Tim, I remember the night that 7 of us were on the stage the last time we ran 3 years ago, and that was quite an interesting process. We brought more people out for that competition than we had here in a long time, and that said a lot about all the candidates that ran that time, and you certainly were one of them. And I appreciate working with you. You brought some good knowledge to the board, knowledge that I received, and it was a good thought process. So I appreciate working with you. So good luck in your endeavors, and I'm sure I'm going to see you back someday on this board. Thank you.
If you have anything you want to say, now's the time.
Really quick. Thank you all for what you do. George mentions when we ran 3 years ago, I remember chatting with Travis, like, should we do this thing? And we were concerned with a lot of things going on at the school. A lot of the faces in this room right now are new since we've been here. And that is not by accident. I think the pieces that were strong are here. We added on some pieces and actually Aaron added on a lot of pieces that have helped us have progress. And the district is certainly something I think we're all proud of now. The board role, you guys do a great job. It is volunteer. You guys take time away from your families to be here. So thank you. And thanks for the opportunity. And I'm sure I'll be back at some point.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, at this point, is there anyone else who wants to step up and have any comments about the budget before we close the hearing? Okay, so at 7:32, we're going to close the budget hearing. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Nicole, second by Pat. Please proceed to vote.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved, the board adjourned the annual budget hearing at 7:33 p.m. So there's going to be a little break. We're going to set up for the regular meeting, and we'll need a few minutes. Okay, good evening again. We're going to call the regular meeting to order. And I need we already did the pledge. Okay, so we have a moment of silence. It's item 1C, and it is for a passing of a former employee. Whereas Ms. Doris Canfield served as a staff member of the Tri-Valley Central School District for 24 years, and Ms. Doris Canfield exemplified extraordinary commitment to the students of the Tri-Valley Central School District. And whereas Ms. Doris Canfield passed away on April 30th, 2025. Be it resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its thanks to Ms. Doris Canfield for her service, and be it further resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its sympathy to the family of Ms. Doris Canfield during this time of mourning. Moving to item number 2 is executive session. We have 2 items tonight, item 2A and 2B. We will vote on both of them to go into executive separately. So we'll take 2A. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for the discussion concerning details of a proposed, current, or pending litigation? Motion.
Second.
Motion by who? George. Second by Rose. Please proceed to vote.
Aye.
Okay, that one is going to be 7:39 p.m. We're going into executive. And item 2B is discussion concerning matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Can I have a motion for 2B? Motion by Pat, second by Nicole. Please proceed to vote.
Aye.
Okay, and that second 2B is going into executive at 7:39 p.m. Okay, so we'll be back shortly. Good evening again. We're going to start the regular meeting. And we're at item number 3 is correspondence. I'm not aware that we have anything tonight. Okay. Item number 4 is public comment session for items that are on tonight's agenda. I have no one signed up. Excuse me. Item number 5 is presentations and guests. Do we have anything tonight? It's okay. Okay, Mr. Frank Snyder.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So we're going to start just doing a little review of what we've kind of been doing from my office. So this week I was invited to present the second time at the new teachers orientation with the mentor coordinators. I presented back in November, and the coordinators asked me to come back to talk about Tier 1 interventions, looking at our iReady data. So we really just went through some activities with the mentors and mentees to kind of look at how do you look at data, and then how are you very intentional on what you're doing. We can't intervene Tier 2 and Tier 3 all of our kids. We really have to, bolster our Tier 1 instruction, and we have to be intentional and know what to do. We have great core programs, but they don't have everything. So really the art of teaching is knowing where the students are in front of you and how to help them to find success. So we went through some activities. We had a little checklist. You have a Tier 1 issue. We had some practice data from iReady. Really good conversations, and these are just some pictures of the presentation. You can see Mr. Morris having a good time talking with his mentee, Mr. Mackesy, but just looking over how do we do this? What are some good strategies we can do? And then what can you do when you go back in your classroom? Mr. Carbone and myself have been having literacy review programs. So this year, New York State has a new piece where we have to do reporting on our pre-K to 3. It's brand new. We filled out our report already. And it really looks at what curriculums are you having, and it gives you some clear criteria. Are you meeting those through your curriculums? And luckily, we've had some really good conversations opening up. Where does ARC fit into these criteria? Where does UFly? Where does the Writing Revolution? Where does the Creative Curriculum, which is our pre-K one? Where do all these fall into place? And then we did some training about and talking about where do we go from here? How do we help make these programs work better for our Tri-Valley kids? And we're going to have a second round of these. They're about 3-hour meetings, a lot of people there, a lot of participation, just a lot of questioning and listening to teachers talk and how do they work together. And most of them appreciated the time they had to really work with their colleagues and kind of see, what are you doing? What are we doing? What can we all do together? So that's just a little snapshot the last couple of weeks after break. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Very similarly, I'm just going to do a little touch up on where we are and what we've been working on since break. We're really finishing up and wrapping up all our CSE meetings, our CPSE meetings, meeting with parents that are transitioning from CPSE to look at what needs the students have coming into kindergarten, to determine whether or not they're going to get building level supports or if we need to continue on with CSE. Our next round of meetings is going to be for 504 students, so they'll be coming up the next month or so. And then I'm working with Mr. Snyder, planning on some trainings for next year, one of which we're going to look at some autism training with the staff. We have a lot of students that have autism. So we're looking at giving teachers more tools in their toolbox, so when they're working with the students, they know what they're looking for to help bolster, again, the in-classroom supports for them. Looking at getting some training around IEP writing, and also I've been doing monthly check-ins with the special ed department that have been going very well. So that's where we are with the PPS department. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Ms. Williams?
And yes, good evening, everyone. Few updates from our MTSS department. We have had an additional site added to our web page that includes an MTSS section of our website. It's really in the making, but I think the idea was to be able to have it set and ready to go for in the fall for when we can put a lot more of the meat in it. At this time, we've got a broad overview of what MTSS is along with the definition, and certainly identifies me as the person for anybody to reach out to in case they have any questions. And within that also identifies that building principals and when to go to the building principal, when to go to a school counselor, and some basic Q&A things that some of our community and families may have about what it is that we do through that department and how we can best support their students. Our MTSS advisory team met for the third time this past Monday. Mr. Fantini and I have really been able to have the privilege to work with this unique group of people. We are still holding our MTSS advisory / crew team in the wings. It's almost time to bring them off the bench, and we're excited to be able to add them to make our team whole. We are looking at an attendance focus and some initiatives that hopefully we can have ready to go to launch in September. And finally, I just wanted to touch base again on that Panorama Student Success Platform. I had a parent call with some questions regarding her child with some concerns about how he was performing in the area of mathematics. And what I was able to do was I was able to show her using that software how math being first period of the day and how his tardiness was impacting him not being there to receive the math instruction. And it was really very eye-opening for her to be able to make the connection of, oh, so, you mean that because I'm getting my child in late to school, he's missing the core part of the math lesson for the day? And my answer was yes. And it was very simple and easy for her to read. And she walked out of there, and I want to say happily, so far so good. But some of these habits are also very hard to break. And unfortunately for our younger students, the parents are the ones that we really have to try to address their behaviors in order to help the students to be more successful. And finally, we included in there some pictures. I know one of our Board of Education candidates mentioned the idea of really the need for recess and the idea that the socialization piece really does a lot come from recess. And as you can see in the pictures there, there's still socialization going on, not only between our secondary school students, but you can see their little fan club of elementary school students as well. But we have been able to get outside. Happily, some of the students from the cafeteria are also getting outside. I've seen the hula hoops out there on the sidewalks. So it's that time of year. We're excited to be able to get the students outside, and we're going to hope to continue to build our fan club there. Any questions? Yes, please.
I did want to ask, at the next meeting, maybe, would you be able to give us some numbers on the absenteeism?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that would be a great way to conclude the year with some trends that we've been noticing.
Thank you. And also, I just popped on the website to look at the MTSS on there. Everyone can find it under departments, and it looks like there's some helpful information on there. So thanks for getting that on there.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Williams. Mr. Butler?
I thank my colleagues for moving quickly through their slides to make room for my half-hour deep dive into everything the tech department's working on. Joking, it's only going to be 25 minutes. So really quickly, the things that we've been working on in tech lately, we kind of got sprung on us a little bit that the way that the Google licensing is going to be paid for, what they're going to charge for is going to be changing in the near future, which we realized very quickly would represent a sizable increase in the cost to Tri-Valley. So tech department, we kind of put our heads together and we came up with a solution that would allow us to use some new features that are rolling out and kind of change the way that we're handling that in a way that will still allow us to meet all of our legal requirements as far as retention, while also not having to pay any additional money. Testing, of course, is always a very busy time for us. There's a lot going on as far as Chromebooks and a lot of movement throughout the building of technology, and just making sure that anything that we provide that the teachers rely on is working, and if it's not, is dealt with very, very quickly. We are also working very diligently on moving to a new help desk ticketing and inventory system. So that's using a sizable portion of our time. And finally, after our domain upgrade recently, we were able to move on to kind of a follow-up project, which is an improvement to our local device security, specifically with the local administrator accounts. Just very, very briefly, normally in most organizations, the local administrator account on every machine is the same. So if attackers get inside of the network, get on a machine, and are able to compromise that account and report out their password, they can then move laterally throughout your network. We implemented a piece of technology that actually makes it where every single administrator account has a different password and it changes every couple of days. So that was a kind of a big win for us from a security side of things. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. And next up is Amanda Eberly, James Fantini, and Kevin Credelli.
So just a huge shout out. We had our prom. It was very successful. Thank you to all of our volunteers and coordinators for that. We had to do a last minute venue change, and Villa Roma was extremely helpful with that due to another venue closing down. Villa Roma staff did come up to us at the end and just really thanked us and our students for how well behaved they were. They were saying that they were cleaning up the tables and stacking dishes and things. So they were extremely thankful and said we had a really great group of students and they were extremely respectful. So that was great to hear. We also just had our crash scene demonstration right before prom. Thank you to all of our local departments, EMS departments, and Andy Grigliano, who narrated the entire scene. Our students were talking about it. They were on their way out of prom when we're saying drive safe. They were, yes, we know, we will, we are. So it was really great to see that have an impact and be successful there. Then we had our state testing finishing up this week. Tomorrow finalizes our 8th grade science test. And then we have just the final makeups happening. So that is now smooth and moving forward. The state has fixed their hiccups on their end. Our senior dates and activities letter will be released shortly. We just met with our senior advisors, our graduation coordinators, and the administration team to finalize and ensure that we are all set with everything. So that will be released shortly with just all the activities that will be happening at the end of the year, which is quickly approaching. Upcoming, we have our Regents Review sessions are all up on Arbiter. They are available for signing up. We provide a lot of opportunities for our students, so we are encouraging them taking advantage of that. We have a National Guard Assembly coming up for grades 7 through 12. They're working on resilience with our students. We have a SUNY Sullivan trip coming up for registration. This is something we partnered with SUNY Sullivan to do to make this just one less thing for families to have to burden. So our students will be taking a trip with our counselors over to that campus. They will be able to register for their classes at that time. So SUNY Sullivan has done a really great job this year. They've come in numerous times working with FAFSA and working with our counselors, and now we are also partnering with them for that. We're going to also have some students that will be able to take a tour of the campus that they might not have been able to do prior to this. Our 3rd quarter honor roll celebration is coming up on the 19th. We will be doing something a little bit different. We're going to have an afternoon of snacks and treats for them. So instead of the breakfast, we're just switching over to doing an afternoon celebration. And then our 4th quarter will be rolling out shortly after that. So a lot of things coming up, a lot of trips, a lot of fast-paced movements on our end, but we are ready to go and excited to see what the end of the year brings. Any questions?
Quick question. Senior trip usually comes before the board. I may have missed the meeting, but is there a senior trip here?
Yep. The senior trip is next week. They're leaving on the 14th and they will be back on Saturday. Yes, Saturday. They're going to Virginia Beach again.
I have a quick question. I was actually going to ask a similar question to Pat. Typically, we hear from our seniors and they say, hey, you know, we presented a slate of these different locations. Our class voted on it. We're really excited to go to this destination. I would love to hear from our seniors who attend the trip to hear how their trip went. It's really exciting for them to come here and present to us what their options were. They usually seek board assistance in paying for the trip for transportation costs, and we didn't hear from them at all this year. So I would really like to hear from the seniors. I know it's kind of late in the school year, but it's exciting for us to kind of hear from them, their opportunities and the things that we provide for them here. So I don't know if it could happen this year, but I would really like to hear from the seniors at a time.
Great. I will work on that. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up is Kevin Carbone, Nicole Pringle, and Kimberly Petit.
Good evening, everyone. We just have a few updates. Our elementary students completed their ELA and math state assessments after spring break. And I must say that we are extremely proud of them. They were very focused and they worked really hard. So again, we are very proud of them. Tomorrow, our 5th grade students will take the science state assessments and we wish them well.
I'm happy to report I'm meeting with the rest of the 2nd grade teams this week, and we're going to get the hydroponics back up and running, and we're going to grow some lettuce, and we're going to try some new herbs, especially basil. And I know the teachers are really excited, and the students are, now that they've seen the room, are really interested in getting involved in it.
And for the rest of this month, we have a few upcoming events. Our DARE graduation will be hosting on Friday, May 9th at 9 a.m. We also have our 3rd quarter honor roll celebration, which will also be on May 19th. I met with the student council about switching it up from the breakfast to that afternoon snacks, and they were very enthusiastic about that. The teachers were also, with not having to keep missing the first period in the morning for the breakfast. And on May 21st, we have our career day. There's been Parents Square on that and flyers on that. So we are hoping for a great turnout. Ms. Temple and Ms. Bassani are doing a great job organizing that. Okay. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So Fast and Furious Spring, it's coming to an end pretty soon. Just this past weekend, we had the Tri-Valley Invitational. It was an absolute great day. We had 17 schools here. Track team's been breaking school records all year. They had FAT timing, so they really got their absolute official times, and just again, overall, a great day. All of our other teams are moving along really, really well, starting to kind of paint the picture for sectionals and states, so on and so forth. Right now, we have the tentative, and I say tentative because, as we all know, the April showers have moved into May, but we have the senior recognition dates up there. Softball has to be rescheduled. It's supposed to be on 5/5. As you guys know, the monsoons have come in, and so we're looking to reschedule that senior rec date. And then also sectionals are coming up. So track and field starts on 5:30, boys and girls golf 5:20. Then obviously baseball and softball is the confusing because depends on seating and number of teams that make it. But the 24th would be the first possible date for them. On the wellness side of things, or actually, one last thing with athletics, we've been streaming our baseball and softball games. So we have the cameras on the main fields. The really nice feature of that is it goes to the huddle account. Our coaches have been able to, on these rainy days, go in the classroom, show actual game footage and say, you know, we did this, probably should have done that, so on and so forth. And that same program lets them film indoors, swings, pitches, so on and so forth, and really give solid feedback to the players. On the wellness side of things, we were able to get back outside with the recess. Obviously not this week, but the kids were really excited to get back out there and get outside, get out of that gym, which became obviously a little redundant, but they're really excited. A lot of energy up there, and it's really been going well. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, moving to item number 6 is the superintendent's report from Ms. Erin Long.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to all the candidates that spoke tonight. Tri-Valley continues to show how rooted you are in our community and our students and their successes, and it really truly is an honor to be a part of our school and our community. It is Staff Appreciation Week, and we are having some fun with our underground Spirit Week. Hope the kids are not watching. And just want to say thank you so much to all of our staff for what you do every day. It is all of you that get up every day and get the day started and the buildings open and the things running and the food cooked and prepped, and our teachers and our aides and our administrators are just an amazing group of people. We are really fortunate that all of you have chosen Tri-Valley to call home and to be a part of our team here. Sunday, about 100 of us from our community attended the Yankees game at Yankee Stadium. It was pretty interesting. The Yankees got a hold of us, and between our PTA and our Little League and Heather Burnell, we were able to go to the game. I do want to say thank you to Larry Whipple and the Little League for sponsoring the coach bus. Some folks traveled with families in their cars, some took trains, and then we had a coach bus go. But again, it was rainy, but it was a really neat experience. And I think people are really interested in doing that again. As you know, we're still watching the state budget, waiting for the information, hoping that we're going to get a little bit more from foundation aid, because we are a little concerned about some of the federal cuts that are happening in our title grants, and learned a lot at my superintendent's meeting last week, which I brought back right away to Frank and Rich, and we're looking at just having a plan B in case any of that happens for us. I will be attending the House of Delegates meeting this Friday and hoping to have some more information I can share with our county. Last week at the superintendent's meeting, not sure if this is good or bad, I was appointed as the rural schools rep for the county. I think they did it with a smirk on their face. They were ready for somebody to take it on. And this is my last year on the House of Delegates, so I'm pretty excited. Rural schools is a really great team and system. We have received the following FOIL appeals. On April 14th, we received an appeal from Cindy Mickelson appealing the request for additional time for the following records: student enrollment in grades 7 through 12, the number of teachers in grades 7 through 12, the name of the teachers in certification area, the number of classes being taught by each teacher, and the enrollment in each class. On April 28th, we received an appeal from Cindy Mickelson for salary and job description for the Assistant Superintendent for Business, salary and job description for the district treasurer, the amount of monies paid to Robert Whitaker, and the tasks he's performed in the 24-25 school year, including a copy of all claim forms submitted, amount of monies paid to Martha Turbush, and the tasks she has performed in the 24-25 school year, including a copy of all the claim forms submitted, the amount of monies paid to Sullivan County BOCES for services of Lorraine Poston, and the services she has provided for Tri-Valley for the 24-25 school year. On April 29th, we received an appeal from Janet Diamond for all documents pertaining to conferences or other professional development attended by any employee of the district, including registration fees, hotel costs, mileage, and meal reimbursement for the 24-25 school year. On April 29th, we received a FOIL appeal from Cindy Mickelson for the budget status report for 24-25, showing the original appropriation and all expenditures for all budget codes to date, any adjustments to the budget, encumbrance outstanding, and unencumbered balance for each fund and budget code as well, and all funds, including grant monies. To date, we have received 38 FOILs and 11 appeals for a total of 49. Our legal fees at this point are $8,332. Our hours to process are about 475 since July 1, which is approximately 59 full days of office work, which is about 12 full weeks that we're working on those things. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to item number 7, items that the board would like pulled from tonight's agenda. Anyone?
I would like 12A personnel.
Okay, 12A. Anybody else? Anything? Okay, so we'll do that one separate. Move to the consent agenda, which is item number 8. Can I have, let me just see here. Okay, can I have a motion to accept 8A consent agenda resolution to approve the entire consent agenda with the exception of item 12A? Motion by Carrie.
Second.
Oh. Who? Somebody give me a second. Travis? Is you? Travis? So it's Carrie, Travis. Okay, please proceed to vote.
Aye.
Okay, that is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the consent agenda categories 8 through 11. Okay, so now we will take item 12A. Can I have a motion for consent agenda 12A personnel? Motion by Pat. Second by Nicole. Any discussion?
Yes. I have a couple of questions. I want to just ask if the school district is participating in a program under Education Law 3207A to have student poll workers as required by New York State Board of Board of Elections.
So what is it? You're asking if we're in compliance with that?
Mhm.
With that?
So the New York State Board of Elections eligibility to be a poll worker, if you are 17 years or old, you may be eligible if your school district participates in a program under Education Law Section 3207A.
I don't know, we may have to get back to you on that. I'm not really clear if these fit into that program.
Okay, and just as a follow-up, all students must also be a U.S. citizen, 17 years of age or older, on or before the election. And they must be either registered, 17-year-olds must be registered as a future voter, and 18-year-olds must be registered as a voter.
Let me do some research on that, and I will get you that answer. It looks like from what I'm reading that we don't necessarily have to announce that we're part of that section, but that we're following the rules with that. So let me make sure that we're clear on that.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're in compliance.
Thank you.
Aaron, if I may, what was the reason for that?
So
This is the first time I've ever seen this happening at
yeah, so we've been having a difficult time recruiting election workers. Some of the folks that have done it in the past have chose not to. Some have decided just to step away. Sam's been heavily recruiting for months now. And so our next step was to look at our students and if there's any students that could receive community service hours or be paid to be an election worker. And so she reached out to our senior class, our government classes, our civics class, to see if there was any students that would be interested.
Did you go through the county, or was it a separate search, or just a
Sam's been going through everything past people. We've been asking anyone we can find to do it. She contacted people that have done it in the past, if anybody knew anyone. We checked with, family members, staff, anybody that knew somebody that might be interested.
I just inquired as to that because I did have somebody ask why that individual was not asked to come back. So that's the reason I asked, that's all. So I didn't know if it was a diligent search or there was other reasons or what, so.
No,
and it was an adult
Okay.
that has been here before.
All right. I know she was really heavily trying to recruit.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that these election workers look forward to in our school. And,
It is.
and that's good to have because they're interested in being here at Tri-Valley. And I hate to lose that.
I agree.
Aaron, I
Thank you.
I do have one more question. I'd also like to know if the student poll workers are going to be given training prior to by the County Board of Elections.
Yes, there is a training set up for next week.
Okay.
Anyone else? Anything? Okay, please proceed to vote. We'll have to do by hand. Okay. All in favor? Raise your hand.
Sam, I'm going to abstain on this, please. Thank you.
We're voting to do what?
To accept the 12A, item 12A.
Without getting information back from the superintendent in reference to if this is all correct?
Well, we're going to have to do it. It's just that the question is, are we participating in the program? Now, you said that we're not required to be in the program, but we're following their rules.
I was under the impression that the superintendent said that she'd have to get back to us on that.
I said that we may not be able to answer the question completely tonight. Okay.
So,
Yes, we do.
We're going to have people trained.
Yes. We will vet every student, and if they're not eligible, we'll remove them. But if we don't vote on them tonight, we will be short several election workers for the budget vote, and we will not meet again till after the budget vote.
I abstain.
Okay, so we're going to put it up for hand vote.
puts me in a perplexing situation. I don't want to vote no.
So we will look into this, and then if we have to take any kids out, I can ask permission from Keith to make an emergency decision to pull the kids out.
So we'll do you want to say something? Okay, we'll do a hand vote. All in favor of approving item 12A, consent agenda personnel, raise your hand. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 yay, 2 abstain, and 1 no.
Oh, I didn't vote no, but I'm concerned.
You're what?
Concerned.
You have to vote one way or the other.
I voted yes, but I'm
Oh,
concerned.
you did? Oh, so, okay. Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the personnel appointments, changes, leaves, resignations, and other personnel actions as listed in and attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 13 is board committee reports. We don't have anything tonight. Item 14 is old business. I don't think we have anything for old business tonight. 15 is public comment session for items that are not on tonight's agenda. I have no one signed up. Okay. Moving to item 16 is announcements, reminders, and upcoming events. I don't really have anything for that. 17 is new business. We have no new business. And 18 is board comment session. So, George, anything?
Yeah, I'm going to address it now because I didn't know what to come under, but these, it doesn't really give anything as reference. So I'm going to shoot from the hip here. It talks about busing for different places with teams. And I see a disparity going to the same school with boys as well as girls from different schools. And I don't know why. Is it because the number that goes on the bus? Or how do we gauge that? I'll give you an example. Is that better? Okay. One of them is Liberty. I'll give you an easy one. Boys varsity, one on 128 was $324. Boys modified, went on 330, and it was $182. And girls modified went on to Liberty on the same day for $182. So, you know, I just, and another one was Sullivan West. Boys modified was 202 and girls was 182. So on another one, Monticello, same day, girls varsity was to Monticello was 254. Same day, girls JV was 151. Now, I'm just asking for some.
So they're riding the same bus. They're just getting coded, one for one team, one for another. So it's one bus with two teams on the bus. So they split the bus ride, the charge of the bus ride.
But it's the same bus, and we're being charged for two different teams going to the same school, the same mileage at two different rates. Is that our contract?
Yes.
Oh my God. We really need to look at this busing issue. I mean, that's a lot of money right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just in 1 month
Mm-hmm.
and just 2 or 3 places I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Fallsburg. Same day. Girls modified was 182. Same day, boys modified. Are they going on the same bus to the same place?
Yes.
And that was 182.
Yes. So we get charged per bus run, per bus ride to a sporting event. They're coding it, or we're tracking it as we're paying one half of the ride was charged to girls modified, the other half went to boys modified.
So a bus run to Fallsburg is $500.
Yes. Round trip with the driver and the bus.
So a bus run to Fallsburg on another day is $400.
What's that?
We're billed also for the length that the bus is being used there. So if we have a baseball game, if we have we're being billed, if there's 2 baseball games, the bus is there for a longer length of time than there is if there's 1 baseball game.
So 2 buses are involved?
No, there's 1 bus, but if you have 2 games, if a bus is there for 5 hours versus if you have 1 game and a bus is there for 3 hours, it's a different rate because we're also paying for when the bus is there because the driver's being paid to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like this is quite one-sided because we didn't have a bus to pick up our kids to go to a section match and there was no penalty. They get paid. Look, we need to discuss it.
So, George, I will let you know that I do have a meeting with Nick Vallone coming up, and we do have a list of concerns, and there's several. So that is one of them. But we're going to sit down with them and look at things.
What happened the other night when we had a delay of 1 bus here and the kids didn't get out of here? I had to come down and pick the kids up.
That's part of the concern that we're having.
We had another school waiting for us to start a girls'
Yes.
varsity game. For
Yeah.
one,
Mhm.
it's embarrassing, right, for the girls. Then they're not properly warmed up. It just shouldn't happen for a service that we're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one I'm talking about. The parents had to pick them up and take them to Liberty for that state qualifier or whatever.
This one was a Chester game.
Oh, well, this was the
One was a
music at
softball.
Liberty.
We have had several issues in the last 3 or 4 weeks with busing. So we have called a meeting with Rolling V to discuss.
And we had a parent come a couple months ago speak about wrestling. So it's just a vicious
Yes.
cycle.
Yeah, I have a list of things that we're concerned about.
I said my piece. Thank you.
I hear your piece.
Thank you.
Nicole?
I just want to say congratulations to all of the students that were on principal's honor roll, high honor roll, and honor roll. It's pretty impressive. 4th graders. It was a huge list. And I call them out because they're the youngest. And so that's just wonderful to see. And then thank you to all the staff at Tri-Valley. You guys work tirelessly. We appreciate all of you so very much. And I second George's bus stuff.
Travis?
Nothing really tonight, just another shout out for Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you, Tri-Valley.
Thank you. Tammy?
I third George's bus issues. having witnessed it myself, it is quite embarrassing. Happy Teachers Appreciation Week. Happy Nurses Appreciation Week. Tomorrow is School Nurse Day. I wish all of our staff here all the best. Enjoy your week. We certainly appreciate everything you do for our children in this school. And just thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Want to thank the candidates for coming and speaking tonight. It's a thankless job sometimes, and it's nice to hear what you have to say and why you're running for office. So I appreciate you. Busing, there was a golf issue this week. No bus. Ask the girls while they're home. No bus. So another sport to add to the busing situation. Teachers, thank you. Teacher Appreciation Week, Nurses Appreciation Week. And I want to wish the best of luck to the FFA, who is leaving tomorrow morning to compete in states. So good luck, Tara, and the FFA kids.
Thank you. Tim?
Teacher appreciation, staff appreciation. You guys are doing a great job. Everybody here is doing a great job. It's the best district in the county. I'm proud to call it home, and I'm proud of the work that all of you do, and I really mean that. The lights on the field, right? I know we've been trying since the mid 90s to do this. Everyone in America has done it besides us. I was at Kevin's old stomping grounds in Marlboro for a Friday night meet. Beautiful facility, hundreds of people there. It's something that I hope that in this next wave that you guys can make a push for. Thank you to the candidates for coming out, Jerry, Bob, and obviously George and Trav. Yeah, we're in good hands, and good luck to you.
I just wanted to recognize all the hard work that went into the Tri-Valley Invitational. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, but I did receive some kudos from coworkers who have kids who attend Sullivan West. They said it was one of the best invitationals they've been to, especially Coach Wolf's moderation. They said he did a really, really good job. So kudos there. Staff recognition. You guys do an amazing job, as everybody else has said. Educators, I've told many of you I could not do your job, so thank you for doing it. I can barely parent, okay, to be honest. But yeah, it's you have a thankless job, but I do appreciate it. As far as the busing goes, Christy Kloss saved the day the other day when our team was stranded. We were needed to get the manor. So everybody else here has had that. I don't know if you caught it, Tammy. You were at the same game, but the officials were kind of telling our kids when they're trying to warm up, like, get going. Like, we've waited for you long enough. You're done. So proper stretching, proper warming up is essential. So just throw it on the pile, I guess.
It is on the pile. We've had some impactful delays with busing, and it will be addressed.
Rose?
So last week when I was picking my daughter up from a golf match, I overheard one of the students on Fallsburg's team compliment our coach, Miss Hamilton, on how polite our girls are. She said Tri-Valley is the school she looks forward to going against the most because our students are respectful and kind, and they make competing a joy for them. And I think that just is a testament to our staff and our community. We're raising great kids here, and we appreciate all that our staff does. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week and Nurse Appreciation Week. But administrators, everybody, thank you for helping to grow our kids into amazing adults.
I had one more thing. I hit the FFA plant sale today. They had amazing stuff. Anybody's looking for stuff for Mother's Day? Does anybody know if that's going on Saturday? It's typically the day before Mother's Day. Is it? Okay.
I
think it is.
They're supposed to be back. I think they have it. They had it yesterday for staff, today, and the 10th, I think, for public. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Thursday, May 15th, where and when can people meet the candidate?
So I think May 15th is.
Before our next meeting.
We don't have a meeting that night. Yes, it's May 15th here in the collaboration space. Matt, 6 p.m.? 6 p.m. Mhm.
And also, I think Aaron mentioned to me that the same kind of compliment from the seniors at the prom had a very similar comment from the staff over at Villa Roma, that they were very impressed with our students. So good.
I know we want to go home, but I have to tell this Anna Furman story really quick. So Anna's running in her elite mile. She gets her personal record. I think she took 6 or 7 seconds off against a girl who beat her, who had the better record. The girl does not win. Anna wins, and then they're doing their cool down, and here's the two of them running around the whole campus together, just shooting the breeze because they can run and talk at the same time, of course. But it was adorable. So here those girls are so fiercely competitive, yet they did their cool down together, and it really just shows our kids. It was really cool.
Okay, item 18. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Tim,
Second.
second by Rose. Please proceed to vote. That is unanimous at 9:10. Thank you. Have a safe travels.